Aunt Becky is going to jail. What's going on, guys? So we're gonna do something a little bit different. Today, I don't usually share tea. I usually drink tea. But there is one situation that was just released a couple of days ago. I think it was last week, and that was about Loughlin, who we know as Aunt Becky on Full House. I'm just going to share with you exactly what happened and my thoughts on it. But before we get started, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe below. So for those of you that don't know what happened with Aunt Becky, so actress Loughlin was found guilty of paying Rick Sanger thousands and thousands of dollars to basically lie on her children's applications to get them into one of the most prestigious universities in America, which is the University of Southern California. Now, usually I don't do gossip. I don't usually do these kind of videos, but this incident in particular fits it hits home for me because as someone who works in higher ed, I felt like I had to speak on this. Last week, or maybe a couple days before that, actress Loughlin was found guilty of those charges, and she was sentenced to 2 months in prison. Now, I want to tell you why I have an issue with this situation. Now, I'm not trying to shame her, but I am trying to draw light to the criminal justice system and the injustices that we have in the criminal justice system. Now, first thing I want to point out is that she did apologize. She did admit that she was guilty, and she issued an apology statement. And I'm going to pull up her statement and I want to show you what she said. This is what she said. Acting out of love for my children, but in reality, it only undermined and diminished my daughter's abilities and accomplishments. But more importantly, and this is the kicker here, my decision helped exacerbate existing inequalities in society generally and the higher education system more specifically. Now, this is what I want to touch on here. Again, as someone that works in higher ed, I have been on the admission side multiple times, and you see numerous applications come through. And the reality is, as many great candidates as you have, you can only let so many in because you only have so many seats. And when I see incidents like this, it hits home to me because I think of all of the applicants that we could have let in that we did not let in. Trust on this. Aunt Becky is not the first person to do this, and I can guarantee you she won't be the last. It's not an uncommon thing for people who are wealthy and people who are celebrities to be able to use their wealth and their title to leverage their children getting into these prestigious schools. People see it happen time and time again. Now, she addressed the fact that she realized what she did was wrong, and she also said that she realized that this was just making inequalities worse in generally and in the higher education system. Now, here's my problem with that statement. She's sorry now, but she's sorry because she got caught. And again, I'm not trying to shame her, but was she thinking about those inequalities when she did what she did? As someone who is as famous as she is and as wealthy as she is, she had the money and the resources to send her children to the best private schools, to give her children the best tutors. She had the money to give them the best resources that they needed to get the educational skills that they need to get into a school like the University of University of Southern California. Wrong school. That was my school. Anywho, after all of that, after doing all of that, if at that point your child still is not able to get into that university, then let them go to another school. It is really unfair to the students that could have gotten those seats. The students that had the GPA, that had the test scores, that had those extracurricular activities and actually did those activities, those spots were taken from them. And your children got in because of who you are and because you had the money to pay someone to lie about what they really did in high school on their college application. Now, I want to go to the next issue. She was sentenced to 2 months in prison. Once again, this just shows you the injustice in the criminal justice system. Because she is a celebrity, because she is wealthy, that is why she got 2 months in prison. Take the average Joe Blow Schmo who has no money, who doesn't have those resources, who cannot pay for the best lawyers, and who is not a celebrity. Would they get the same sentence that she got? No. Felicity Huffman got 2 weeks, I believe. If Felicity Huffman wasn't Felicity Huffman, would she have just gotten 2 weeks? And so my problem with what happened with the Aunt Becky situation is not the fact that she messed up, she realized it, she apologized for it, she wants to move forward. It is the systemic issues of the criminal justice system where people who have money can get away with literally murder, can get away with a lot, can get less time, and people who don't have money have to serve the full time, and they don't get this type of offer. And so when you have money and you are put into the criminal justice system, the system doesn't really have as much control over you the same way it would with someone who does not have money. Because of your name, because of your title, because of how much money you have, you can get off, or you can do very little time. That's not criminal justice. That is injustice. And there are racial injustices with the criminal injustice system as well. But in this particular situation, I am not using that example because this is about money. And when you have money in this country, you have power. Sentences that are in place for crimes in this country are not the same for everybody, but they should be. For example, if the sentence for marijuana is 20 years, which I think is ridiculous, by the way, but if that is the sentence, it should be that sentence for everyone who gets convicted of the same crime. Not just people who are poor, not just people who are people of color, and people who have money are able to skate by. It is wrong, it is corrupt, and this is why people have the problems that they have with our criminal justice system today. Now, again, I say, she apologized. She admitted that what she did was wrong. But she knew it was wrong when she was doing it. She knew she had the money and the resources to get her kids the best education that they deserved. And she still chose to take advantage of the system. That is the problem that I have with this situation. I just don't understand how someone who has all of this, all of these resources, you still try to take an opportunity away from another potential student and give it to your kids so that they can have everything that they want. And this is a problem, you guys. It is a big problem. Some of us have seen it time and time again. So-and-so's kid gets in because their father is this person. So-and-so's kid gets in because their mom sat on a board of trustees. And applicants who actually did the work and deserve to get in don't get in because your kid is basically guaranteed a seat just because of who you are. I'm sorry if I am coming across as like, angry with this, but this just hits me very much working in higher ed. And I see the inequalities. And I see the inequalities in the criminal justice system. She didn't really start seeing those inequalities until she got caught for what she did. Everybody's sorry when they get in trouble. Everybody's sorry when they get caught. There are no perfect people. All of us make mistakes. But when you take opportunities away from people that actually earn those opportunities and deserve them, just so your kid can get another thing on their list that they want because you've given them everything, and that's another part of this. You've given them everything. I give tremendous thanks to my parents. My parents didn't hand me anything. My parents made me work for things in life. And they started that at a very early age. My dad taught me, no, in society, people aren't just going to give you stuff just because. You need to learn how to work for what you want. And growing up, I used to think my dad was kind of strict. But as I became an adult, I realized he had a point, and I understood why he was the way that he was. You have to create those boundaries. You have to teach people that not everything's going to be given to you. Even if you're Aunt Becky's daughter. And although my parents were not wealthy, my parents were upper middle class. My dad had the resources to give me those things, if he wanted to, but my dad said, no, you need to earn it. And that's what I did. People shouldn't just get by with the criminal justice system because of who they are, but it happens all the time. There are thousands of colleges in the United States. Why did it have to be that one? Why not have her get into the school that she could get into on her own based on her own merit? Why you have to lie? Why you have to lie and cheat? It's just so corrupt. And it kills me because what does this make students think about the higher education system? How does this make them feel? Do they just feel like, well, I guess you got to be somebody to get into that school. I guess your parents have to be someone in order to get in. It's just messed up. I just don't know what to say. And these are the ones who got caught. I'm sure there's more people out there who've done the same thing. So again, she was found guilty. She apologized. She feels horrible for it. And she will serve 2 months in prison. Maybe less, if even that, who knows? The more I think about this, maybe we shouldn't fault Aunt Becky. Maybe we should fault the criminal justice system that we have in this country that is just so corrupt and so unequal.